Welcome to the Hidden Palace with Skyblaze.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Skyblaze, and this is the Hidden Palace here on Radio Sega. I apologise in advance if I sound a bit weird at any point during this episode. I had fairly extensive dental surgery earlier this week, and I am still healing from it. My mouth does kind of hurt. I am missing some teeth. I'm getting better, but we'll have to see how it goes. So, if I were to ask many of you to name a series created by Atlus, most of you would probably immediately think of Persona, or maybe Shin Megami Tensei, which Persona is a spin-off of. Sticking with the same beginnings, we will actually be looking at the Devil Summoner series, not to be confused with the Devil Survivor series, which is something else. I'll get into that later. Like Persona, it started off as a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, and then got a spin-off of a spin-off, so it's all very confusing, as is standard for Shin Megami Tensei. So the first game in the series is Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner, which originally released on the Sega Saturn back in 1995. With a supplementary disc coming out in 1996 called Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Akuma Zensho, or Devil Complete Book. That complete contained an encyclopedia of the game's demons, effectively leading to what would become the demonic compendium seen in later Shin Megami Tensei, Persona, and Devil Summoner games. Electric Boogaloo is saying that they would think of Blazion and Power Instinct. Rocking Cats should probably have been a series of games. Of course, Electric Boogaloo would think of some of the more obscure ones. This is why we like you, Electric Boogaloo. Because obscure nonsense is kind of what this show's about. Right, where was I? So a port of the game was later released on the PSP in 2005 for the 10th anniversary of the game, which contained a number of additions to the original, including the previously mentioned Demon Compendium, adjustable difficulty levels, a save anywhere option, additional bosses, and a number of quality of life changes. The game starts with news of a recent rise of demonic or supernatural activity in the area. You'll then get to create your own character by deciding on a name, a code name, and choosing your own starting hometown. You can even choose an occupation such as student, office worker, or being unemployed, among other things. You will then meet up with your girlfriend at a local cafe and travel to the library to look for a book to help her with the studies. Once this has been found, she'll head to the university to see her tutor, while you head to a nearby building to pick up some concert tickets. Barely 3 steps into the building, however, and you are attacked by demons, but are thankfully saved by a summoner called Kyuji Kuzunoha. However, soon after he saves your life, you'll make your way back to the cafe and see a report on the television that says Kuzunoha has been killed. Dun dun dun. So, who have we got in the chat today? We've got Electric Boogaloo, who I've mentioned before. We have Doan, Pocket Larry, my husband Greyfor. I think Nicholas Mann was about earlier. They've also helped me with the music again this week, so thanks again to him. I believe Twinny's doing the socials today, so thank you to Twinny. We're very lucky with the staff that we got for Radio Sega. We've got some really amazing people. But let's have some music, I think. So some people did actually request some music from Devil Survivor, even though it isn't technically part of this series. And I will cover Devil Survivor in a future episode, but I'm going to play it anyway, because it's actually some pretty cool music. So, from Devil Summoner, we have Home, And then from Devil Survivor 2, we have Memories of the Firmament, and that one was requested by Electric Boogaloo. So have a listen, and I'll be back after this music break. And we are back! And that was Devil Survivor 2, Memories of the Firmament, requested by Electric Boogaloo. And then before that we had from Devil's Summoner, Home. Now that Devil Summoner track home, it gave me Gary Newman vibes. It sounded a lot like the intro to Our Friends Electric by Gary Newman. Maybe that's just me. Moving on. So before the music break, I mentioned that the summoner who saved you in Devil Summoner Kuzunoha had been killed. But you don't actually have to wait very long to find out who did it, as on your way home you encounter a dark summoner called Sid Davis, who draws your soul out of your body, effectively killing you. However, you then encounter the ferryman of the underworld, Charon, who says that your time is not yet, and while he cannot restore you to your own body, there is another body that's available. And wouldn't you know it, when you come to, you find yourself now inhabiting the body of Kujoshi Kuzunoha, and this is when the game really starts. It's very convoluted, isn't it? So navigation in this game is done via a top-down map, and you move yourself through the streets of Hirosaki in Japan, where the game is set. Once you're at your destination, the view will change to that of a typical dungeon setting, similar to the early Shin Megami Tensei or even the Phantasy-style games. A lot of the early Shin Megami Tensei, I think right up to Nocturne, did something very similar. Fights then have a similar style to the majority of other Shin Megami games, including the chance to negotiate with demons and have them join your team. Although through this and other events in-game, you can create a party combination of up to 5 other demons or humans, along with yourself, and you get to position them in either the front or back line, allowing you to have more defensive fighters at the front and keeping your weaker ones to the rear. Sadly, this game so far has never had any sort of official release outside of Japan, so unless you have a written guide or you happen to understand Japanese, you'll have a pretty tough time playing it. I couldn't even find a translation patch for it, which was really irritating. One might exist, I just couldn't find it. So yeah, that wasn't great. Darren's saying Devil Survivor rocks. Yeah, it's got a really nice soundtrack, actually. On which topic, Kevin from LMC contacted me before the show, asking, actually had a request. Kevin doesn't usually send requests, but this one was special. This is actually from Devil Survivor. And turns out that a track from Devil Survivor is used for the theme of Dragon's Den. You know the TV show where inventors pitch their inventions to get investment funding. And I was like, what, really? Yeah, it turns out this is a thing. So yeah, let's have some more music, including that one. But first of all, we're going to have from Devil Summoner the Otherworld Dungeon Paradise Mansion. And then from Devil Survivor, the theme of Dragon's Den, requested by Kevin. Yep, Dragon's Den. That's the one. I mean, this information was sent to me by Kevin, so I've not been able to actually verify if it's true or not, but yeah. Similar to Shark Tank for our American viewers, listeners. But yeah, apparently it's from Devil Survivor. I got nothing. Enjoy this music break.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. This is Nicolas Aman, the demon ruler of the Radio Sega playlist, and you're listening to The Hidden Palace.
And yeah, that was apparently from it's from Devil Survivor, but it's also the theme of Dragon's Den. Make of that what you will. And before that we had from Devil Summoner, Otherworld Dungeon Paradise Mansion. So I've never actually watched Dragon's Den, so if somebody can actually verify that that really is the theme tune, that would be great. Because my mind is blown. So, up next we have Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. This one, of course, had a sequel relatively recently, but the original was released in Japan for the Saturn in 1997, for the PlayStation in 1999, and more recently on the 3DS in 2012. Thankfully, on the rest of the world in 2013. The game takes place in a technologically advanced Amane city in Japan. You play as a member of a hacker group called the Spookies, and you've managed to get access to a closed beta for the new online social game called Paradigm X, which is set out as a virtual city. While exploring this virtual city, you encounter some supernatural forces, leading you to investigate demon attacks that are happening across the real city, which are somehow linked to this virtual one. Those of you who are in my current tabletop role-playing game should not read too much into this. Honest. Moving on. As with the first game that I mentioned, navigating on the city map is done by moving your character through the various streets to your destination, while dungeon navigation is in first person. You also get the same 6-person party layout with 3 at the front and 3 behind. One feature of this game which could be considered a bit of a problem is that the allied demons who fight with you need to be managed socially, otherwise they may start to ignore your orders or do their own thing. Kind of like Pokemon if you've not got enough badges and you level them up too much. In order to prevent this, you need to build up their loyalty by providing them with gifts or letting them choose their own actions every now and again. It's kind of a more extreme version of the social links or confidants from the Persona series, because at least your characters won't stop obeying your orders. I mean, they'll fall out with you, especially in some of the early games, but yeah, they won't just stop doing what you tell them. Where was I? The PlayStation port included a few quality of life features, including additional locations, items, dungeons, and scenarios. The 3D remake saw... excuse me. The 3D remake saw a wide range of visual improvements and included voice dialogue. There are also 30 new demons released in this version, which aren't present on either the Saturn or PlayStation releases. The most unique of which is Nemichi, a completely new demon to the series that has only appeared in this game and doesn't even gain experience through fighting, but instead uses the 3DS Street Pass feature. So even if you've got a copy of the game, you will have a bit of a bugger of a time actually leveling it up now. Although some conventions I know actually do encourage you to bring your 3DSs so you can Street Pass. Kokorocon was doing that, I think. I'm gonna loop my toolpad. The Western releases also allowed the use of 3DS Play coins in order to strengthen Nemichi. Darren's saying it's one of the ones where you can bribe them with booze, right? Yeah, I think you can give gifts, so I assume booze is one of them. So Soul Hackers is not one I've played. I'd quite like to at some point, but like a lot of the slightly older Atlus games, it can be a bit tricky to get hold of. I mean, even Persona Q and Q2 are quite difficult to get hold of now, although I do have a copy of Q2. Electric Boogaloo is saying that the Dragon's Den theme tune isn't the same, but I think it's just very similar. I think somebody mentioned I was trying to look it up earlier, and somebody mentioned that there's actually been several remixes of the theme tune, so it's possible that the original version was from Devil Survivor, and they just they remixed it later. So I don't know. You'll have to take it up with Kevin. Excuse me, because he's the one who mentioned it. So I don't know. So let's have some more music, shall we? So this is from Shin Megami Tensei Soul Hackers. First of all, we have from Virtual Park, requested by Electric Boogaloo. And then we have also from Soul Hackers Treasure Chest Battle. So enjoy those, and I will speak to you after this music break. and that was Soul Hacker's Treasure Chest Battle, and before that we had Virtual Park, and that one was requested by Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, there's some really nice music in Soul Hackers, actually. I had a bit of a time actually narrowing it down, because I'm like, oh, there's some really good tracks in this. I might use some. I've got a DJ gig coming up in the end of August, so I might use some Atlus music in that. Some early Atlus music, maybe. So finally, as a wonderful segue into the last game I'm going to cover for today, after you beat Kyoji Kusunaha, who appears as the ultimate boss in an extra dungeon that unlocks after beating the game. Presumably the original, you're not fighting yourself. Although I wouldn't put it past the Shin Megami Tensei game, to be honest. So after you do that, you can then fight against the protagonist of our next game, Raido Kusunaha the 14th, and Raido Kusunaha the 14th. So, I don't know why Shin Megami Tensei likes to make my life difficult. These are two different people, spelt slightly differently, but pronounced the same. And even more confusingly, they're actually alternate versions of the same person, they're just from different parallel worlds. Why? This is, like I was saying, I had this discussion with Electric Boogaloo before the show. It's like, Devil Survivor is not the same as Devil Summoner, and Digital Devil Saga is not the same as Digital Devil Story. It's enough to give you a headache. It's like I just make my life difficult by covering this stuff. Ah, dear. So, the game that Raidu stars in is Devil Summoner Raidu Kuzunoha vs. the Soulless Army, which released on the PlayStation 2 in Japan and North America in 2006, and then across the PAL regions in 2007. If you've played the Chronicle Edition or the HD remaster of Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, you might be familiar with Raidu Kuzunoha of the 14th already, as he appears in place of Devil May Cry's Dante as a recruitable ally found in the game. I'm old school, so I downloaded the Dante DLC so I could play it with Dante. Because I like Dante, he's great, he makes me laugh. Except in 2, where he's boring. Moving on. The game is set vaguely during the Taisho period of Japan, which is about 1920 to 1930, where you play as a high school student, of course, completing his summoner training to prove himself worthy of the title of Raidu Kuzunoha, a name which has been passed down to appointed summoners of worth sworn to protect the capital Tokyo from the demons of the Dark Realm and keep the supernatural world in check. Excuse me. Sorry, this might be too much information, but I could actually taste blood in my mouth just then. Ugh. God. Dental things are the worst. Right. Let's get on with it. Raidu operates through the local detective agency. Where have we heard that before? And follows a seemingly routine investigation until he meets a high school student called Kaya, who has asked you for you to kill her. Before you can inquire further into this strange request, Kaya is kidnapped by some soldiers in red armour and capes. During your investigation, you'll encounter various demonic events that happen across Tokyo, and even form a rivalry with the infamous Russian advisor to the Tsar, Grigory Rasputin. Insert 70s disco song here, I'm not going to do it. Who, according to real-world history, actually died in 1917, although reportedly it did take them some doing. He didn't want to die. Yet here he is as a powerful devil summoner like Raido. And Doan's just posted a picture of a black cat saying, I like the real main character of the Raido games. Lick, lick, lick. It's a very cute cat. I'm now tempted to play these games because I want to see the cat. Much in the same way that I mostly wanted to play 13 Sentinels because cat. It was also how people got me to play Persona 5. There is a cat. It is a party member. I'm sold. This is how you get me to play a game. Like, there's a cat and you can play as it. Sold. Where was I? Oh god, I'm going off on so many tangents today. Good grief. I'm going to blame the painkillers. Yes, so unlike most of the Shin Megami Tensei games that I've covered on this show previously, this one has actually ditched the turn-based combat in favour of real-time battles, where you move around an arena fighting demons with your sword and gun. Actually sounds a bit like Persona 5 Strikers. You can also capture demons and have them fight alongside you, and they will for the most part act independently, attacking enemies randomly, although you can issue them commands in order to use specific abilities against your opponents. Thank you, Electric Boogaloo, who is inserting the 70s disco song as requested. Time to dance, says Grey4. Yeah, thanks. His name is Goto, the cat. The cat is very cute. I like the cat. When was this released? 2007. Probably have to emulate it then. Oh well. So let's have some more music, shall we? So from Raido Kuzunoha vs. the Soulless Army, we have the Lazy Detective Agency, and that one was requested by Doan. And then also from Raido because Noho versus the Soulless Army, the new battle. And I'll be back after that for the Chiptune Corner.
Hi, I'm Resident SD, host of Lion Live, and when it comes to boosting your Sega education, there's no better place than the Hidden Palace on Radio Sega.
are back. And that was Rado Kuzunoha versus the Solus Army New Battle. And then before that, from the same game, we had the Lazy Detective Agency, and that one was requested by Doan. So, now into the chiptune corner. Now, sometimes I am a bit confounded when I try and find information on a chiptune artist. And as was the case this time, because finding information about Glenroom Galifos, aka GRG, was a bit of a challenge. All I really know is that he is a Norwegian chiptune musician and demo scener, producing music using the Commodore 64 SID chip. The other thing I know is that he was involved in a controversy where Timbaland plagiarized one of his songs for a Nelly Furtado track. Which is just wow. And the Timbaland guy, whose name I don't give a crap about, basically like brushed it off and was like, yeah, who cares, it's just some guy in Norway. Classy! I'm not going to go into the details here, but if you look up Timbaland plagiarism controversy, you'll get more information. But a better idea would be to go onto their SoundCloud page, which I have put in the Discord chat, and check out some of his awesome music. So this is a track called GRG in Cyberspace. It is by Glenn Rune Galifos. The fact that his middle name is Rune is really cool. I hope that's actually his real name, because that's awesome. So please enjoy that, and I will be back after this to close out the show. Please enjoy. And we are back, and that was Glenrune Galaphos, our GRG in cyberspace. So I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you everybody for tuning in today. I think SNS is up next. I'm not entirely sure, I hope so. LMC Block and Rex's Sega Mixer Drive, I believe it's on tomorrow. If you check out radiosega.net for the full schedule. There should be an episode next week, but after that I'm probably going to have to take a hiatus for a while because I am booked in for quite a lot of weekends at the end of July and in August, including the DJ gig I'm doing, and there's like birthday parties and all sorts of things. I'm a busy person for a lot of August. But this will give me a chance to get some more scripts researched and written up. I think one of the things that we're thinking of doing is I think we're gonna do Devil Survivor. Possibly combine it with Digital Devil Saga, because they're kind of the two other, not strictly speaking connected to other things, games from in Shin Megami Tensei. If you do have any topics that you would like for me to cover, you can reach me through Discord, where I'm Skyblaze42. You can find me through the official Radio Sega Discord, or Facebook page, or Twitter, if you're still using that. Or you can reach me through Mastodon, where I am Blazing Skies at tech.lgbt. So, one last track to go out on. I've been Skyblaze, and this has been The Hidden Palace here on Radio Sega. Speaking of Dante earlier, we have from Devil May Cry 4, The Time Has Come. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Take care everyone, and good night.
Enjoyed the show? Check out the full Radio Sega live schedule at radiose.ga/shows. Radio Sega, playing the best Sega music 24/7.